So, this video is going to tell you the 3 types of players that make up the Rainbow Six Siege community. And once you figure out those 3 major types, it's going to directly improve your game. Guaranteed. Once you know what to expect, obviously things get a lot easier. So, without further ado, here we go. The different types of players in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, you may think, how is that actually helpful? How is that a tip? Well, if you can understand the different types of people that are playing this game, then you can understand how you have to play to sort of counteract them, and you kind of have to feel out certain situations and know what to expect. Because if you play the game a lot, you're gonna figure out what to expect, and once you know what to expect, you're more likely to be successful, get more kills, die less, specifically die less, and obviously then you're going to win a lot more rounds, you're going to get a higher rank. It's all going to trickle down and overall make the experience more fun for you and more satisfying at the same time. But to start off here, there's the 3 types of gamers in Siege that I've noticed. And the first one is the droner. Now, the droner is somebody who does not enter a room or walk through a hallway without throwing a drone in and checking it all out before he goes in. And that's a good habit. It helps a lot of people. It's really good for beginners, especially if you don't have a lot of map knowledge, because at least then you know what you're going into, and you know if somebody's there. And even for an experienced player, it's really good to just drone things out, especially if you're playing other people who are really good and holding small angles and stuff and expecting you to come into certain places. But that type of person is always going to know where the defenders are and always going to be prepared. Now, they might not necessarily get the kill. They might just be prepared enough to give themselves a better chance, but obviously it does not guarantee anything. With that being said, if you're the person on defense, the best way to counter that is once they've droned you out, obviously try to take their drone out there, because at that point they can't continue to use that drone and rely on that drone. So let's say you're holding down, let's say you're a roamer and you're holding down an angle in a room off-site, and you see a drone come in. You shoot it out, get the heck out of there. You shoot it out, get the heck out of there. Because if they have seen where you are, even if you took out that drone, they could be right there around that corner, and then they could just run in and kill you, throw a frag grenade, Zofia, use a locator and stun you, concussion grenade, whatever. So if you've taken out that drone, obviously relocate, go to a different spot. Do it cautiously, because even if the drone came in from, let's say, your right, maybe they're actually out to the left. Just because it came in from one way, don't assume that they're out in that direction. But once you've taken out the drone and relocated, they have to come at you without knowing where you're at it anymore. So that's just literally the best way to counter the drone type player, is take it out and move immediately. Get out. The second type of player is what we tend to call the noob player. People that just don't feel like droning. They just run in, they look around the corners, they might lean around before they come in, or might look, both ways, whatever. They're pretty much just sending it and hoping that their gun skill and reactions will help them get that kill. I mean, it's really a really simple-minded way of playing the game, but it works for some people, and just that element of surprise, that fast-paced playstyle, especially if you're running Ash, it works. Sometimes it really does. It catches people off guard. But the best way to deal with that is just right after prep phase is over with, be aware, be ready, listen. Use your sound to your advantage. If you hear someone coming, you got to know what direction that sound is coming from. If you're sitting there chatting on the mic, I mean, you might be having a good conversation with somebody, but if you're playing ranked and you really care about what's happening, you might want to quiet down and actually start paying attention, because some people rush right in and they don't care, and they'll take you down right off the bat. Then you got to sit and watch for 3 minutes, and that's not fun. And obviously you can jump on cameras and help your team out still, but it's either way, having people alive is the whole point of the game. So once prep phase is over, get to your spot and just be prepared, be ready. Don't let them get that advantage on you, because you never know what kind of person's about to run in that room. They might drone it out and you might know they're coming, or they might just run in and then boom, you're dead. So the best way to, like I said, the best way to counter that type of player is just always be ready and assume. Don't ever assume you're safe. Don't ever assume you're alone. And the third type of player is the experienced player. And what I mean by that, like the really experienced players, they don't even need to drone, because they know all the hot spots. They know where people tend to play, and based on barbed wire, gadgets, placement, stuff like that, bomb sites, they just know what to expect, because they've seen it all. They've been there enough times, and they know, okay, sometimes there's a person randomly over here, but that's 1 out of 100 times. For the most part, these are the areas people like to sit. These are the areas people like to go to, and they don't really need to drone, because they've learned the hard way and they've figured it out. So those types of people are going to tend to make you peek them, or you come to them by baiting you or just waiting. And now that's a really tough person to deal with, because like I said, they didn't come and drone you out and give you a little warning as to when they're coming or where they're coming from. They're just waiting for you to make the move, and they're going to capitalize on it. Like I had an instance earlier today where I was playing, and a situation where I hold this spot often on this certain site. It was on Fortress, top of spiral stairs near the front door, and I peeked this pixel, like hairline pixel spot, and immediately died, because I heard someone come in downstairs, and all of a sudden I heard nothing. And usually people will go up, melee my barbed wire out, or just run right up the stairs. I'll catch them. This guy, though, just sat at the bottom of the steps, held a pixel, and when I peeked, I died. And that was just a smart play on his part. So with that person, though, the best way to deal with it is, let's say you were in my situation and you heard them running down below on the stairs, and then all of a sudden silence. You hear nothing. That's a sign that something's going on. He's either waiting for you, peeking you, or he went off in a different direction. I wouldn't recommend peeking it unless it's going to be a quick in and out, or if you just have a bad feeling about it, you got to relocate. But these are the hardest ones to deal with. You got to be using cameras to your advantage. It doesn't hurt to go hide off in a safe spot and check cameras. The best players are obviously going to take those out, but if they happen to come into the side of the camera while you're on it, then at least you know where they're at, and you know you can wait here, and then they're going to come into your side. Because really, whoever peeks first is likely the one that dies. If someone's holding an angle peeking, and the other person puts their head into that sight, all they got to do is react and pull the trigger. That person has to either A, be lucky enough that their sights line up on their head, or B, have that quick flick and reaction to line up the shot, then pull the trigger. So, more than likely the person who's sitting there waiting for him is going to be the one that wins that gunfight. That is the best way to deal with them, is to just be patient, and sometimes you just got to let the round die out. If there's 2.5 minutes left in the round, that person's probably not going to push you. But if there's 30 seconds left in the round, okay, now you have the advantage. He's running out of time. He's got to get to sight and plant because he hasn't killed the entire other team. So if you just be patient and worry about other stuff, worry about a different hallway or a different section, eventually he's going to have to come out and face you. Or maybe he relocated and he's in a different spot, and you can get that kill on him anyway because you're in a better position than he had when he was down below waiting for you to peek him. So those really the main three players in Rainbow and the different ways to deal with them. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be small variables and stuff like that, but if you can keep those things in mind at all times, and it'll help form better habits for you and end up in the long run making your game overall better. So if you liked the video, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next one.